Alright, you daft lot, gather round. It's your favourite grumpy Yorkshireman, Scotty McG, here to set you straight about all things XDefiant. But before we dive into today's lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that bollocks. It helps channel grow. Now let's get into nitty gritty. So let's address elephant in room. Is XDefiant a dead game? Short answer, absolutely not. Long answer, you lot need to get a grip. Player base is solid, built with players who have patience and skill to actually get good at game. So I keep seeing posts about how long it takes to find a match. Is game dead, you ask? No, you muppet, you're just being impatient. Here's a little secret for you. Game can only put you into a match where the space is available. Shocker, right? If you're searching for just one mode, you're in for a long wait. Try broadening your search to more modes. It's not that difficult. I already up with all modes on casual, and it takes no time at all to find a game. But hey, with your attention span, I'm sure even that's too long. It's not a sign that game's dying, it's a sign of your impatience and lack of mental capacity to try other things. Now let's address elephant's bigger, more annoying cousin, Call of Duty fanboys. XDefiant will never be able to compete with Call of Duty. Oh, you're right. And guess what? They're not trying to. It were gamers who dubbed XDefiant COD Killer, not devs. XDefiant's its own beast. Sure, it has its similarities, mainly because it's being developed by some former COD devs. Well, that's where it ends. Splitgate were called Halo Killer. Look how different that game is. It's the same with XDefiant. Stop comparing apples to oranges. Or in this case, Call of Duty to a game that's actually trying to innovate. Here's the thing. You can enjoy both games for what they are. XDefiant isn't here to dethrone Call of Duty. It's here to offer a different experience. And for those of you whining about it not being COD, why don't you just stick to COD and leave XDefiant to those of us who appreciate it for what it is? You want to complain about something? How about lack of innovation in yearly releases? XDefiant, for all its quirks and issues, at least tries to bring something fresh to the table. So next time you want to compare, remember that not every game is trying to beat next COD. Some of us like a bit of variety. Right then, I hear some of you moaning there's naught to grind for in XDefiant. First off, if you're playing objective modes like the team deathmatch, you're part of the problem. You want more incentives? Play the game properly. Capture points, secure zones, and actually contribute to the team's success. Participation trophy mentality needs to go. Game rewards those who put in effort, not those running around aimlessly. For those who play objective and still feel there's not enough to grind for, I do get it. Devs need to add more incentives for players who genuinely try to win by taking objectives. But that's a different conversation than whining about game being dead. Respect to those of you playing it right. You're backbone of this community, and you deserve more content and rewards. But to TDM in objective mode crowd, you're scum. Plain and simple. If you think game's dead and you won't play again, fine by me. Good riddance. In the end, it's about playing game as it's meant to be played. Working together, use different factions and abilities, and counter your enemy. If you're not doing that, you deserve to get your asses handed to you. Speaking of, let's dive into the cesspool of this cheating allegations. I've seen proof online, but in my experience it's not epidemic that some of you make it out to be. Maybe, just maybe, you're not as good as you think you are. Ever consider that? A lot of what you're called cheating is just you not being as good as you think you are. Harsh, maybe. True? Definitely. It's thing. You've been pampered by SBMM for so long that when you finally get into a game without it, you don't know what to do. Some of you don't play enough to improve and others are just too lazy. Why still I need to improve? You ask. Well, darling, if you want to win, you'll need to put in effort. Now let's be clear, cheating is a problem in any online game, but blowing it out of proportion helps no one. Instead of whinging, report it, move on, focus on improving your own gameplay. The more noise you make, the harder it becomes for devs to pinpoint actual issues. Mark Rubin and team have enough on the plate without having to babysit a lot of you. Cheaters exist, sure, but I've yet to see concrete proof that it's as bad as you make it out. Sure, I've seen some proof for cheaters, but not on level that warrants hysteria I see online, not as widespread as you think. So stop making excuses and start focusing on what you can control, your own gameplay and attitude. It's not always game's fault. Sure, it has issues, but let's be real. How many of you are still connecting on a Wi-Fi signal from other side of house, through several walls, with speed slower than a snail on a holiday? If you're on a low-speed Wi-Fi connection, your ping ain't gonna be great. For those of you with wired high-speed connections, cranking your graphics to max settings, frames win games, people. If you're running at ultra settings and getting a FPS of 90 to 100 or less, it's time to reevaluate your life choices. It's about working with what you got, not blaming game for every little hiccup. So all this morning about netcode and hit registration, it's getting old. Seriously, how many times can you cry about it before you realise maybe, just maybe, problem ain't just game issues, but also you? Look, I know you didn't ask, but here's my personal experience. I've never had trouble finding matches in casual or ranked. My ping has never gone over 30, my FPS is a rock solid 141, I use low-end graphics settings, just don't bother looking terrible, because I'm not daft enough to let my CPU sweat like a pig in a sauna. Sure, my CPU's bottlenecking my 3080 Ti a bit, but hey, this is my workstation, not just my gaming rig. Priorities, right? Now, I don't follow meta like a sheep. I run an M4A1 and Phantom. I've aim assist turned off because I have to use a controller, and I still drop IQ games and snack player at game. And for those of you crying Phantom is OP, I say bollocks. Watch my gameplay. That extra HP means sod all when you're up against sweats with MP7s and snipers. Yeah, there's odd netcode hiccup, but no that makes me rage quit or scream that game's dying. I adapt, I overcome. And I've got my M4A1 set up to take down these sweaty gits and the precious meta. Now I've got a video on my M4A1 meta setup. Watch it and you'll see my process of learning, adapting and turning what some call worst gun in game into my personal favourite. I'm not here to follow trends. I'm here to show these YouTuber and Twitch sweats that sometimes worst gun can be best if you use it right. I started this game with a KD lower than a snake's belly, under 0.6. Now, stats page is as reliable as a chocolate teapot, so I don't know if I'm at 0.7 KD like it says, or if I've clawed my way up to 1. Point is, SBMM was supposed to be this magical safety net for us lower skill players. Truth is, it was holding me back. I was never going to get past 0.6 KD in COD with their EOMM, so I said bugger that and left COD at Cold War. Sometimes I even have music playing through my headset as well, so I can't always hit game, like it used to be back in old arcades. The experience in a game like old days, learning from higher skilled players and actually getting better, that's the whole bloody point of gaming for me. Not for trophies, not for rewards, but for sheer thrill and fun of facing a challenge head on, learning from experience and smashing it. If you don't get that, you're missing bloody point. Here's to those who get it. For the rest, well, maybe it's time to rethink why you're gaming in the first place. It's the gaming's changed a lot over the years. We moved from arcades where you had to be good to get your money's worth, to home consoles where games hold your hand like an overprotective parent. And now we're in era instant gratification, where people expect to be rewarded just for showing up. XDefiant, for all its quirks and issues, harks back to a time when you actually had to put in effort to get good. It's not about being handed wins or having game balance itself around your skill level. Gaming's about challenge, growth, and sometimes getting your ass handed to you until you figure out how to win. It's about community and teamwork, not just about being best or having highest KD ratio. To those who've stuck around putting in effort and not just whinging on forums, you're real MVPs. You're ones keeping the game alive, and you deserve a community that appreciates skill and perseverance. As for the rest, if you think game's dead just cause it don't cater to your every whim, maybe it's you that needs change, or just play something else. Smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave a comment below with your thoughts and gaming stories. Might just feature them on channel. I'll see you next time, you magnificent.